Hi there, you are going to join me at my favorite Goodwill, and it was a great day at this Goodwill today. Really lucked out, and that's how it is sometimes. You go into Goodwill, and sometimes the shelves are empty, and then sometimes you walk away and your cart is full. They were restocking. These are the blue bins that they restock with. We are allowed to dig through them. I was seeing if there was anything sparkly or shiny that caught my eye. I thought this tin was kind of cute, but didn't really think I wanted to take that with me. And then in the other bin, they had this ginormous piece of artwork, some electronics. I wanted to see what the artwork said. It was really big, so I would get kind of close here. And I decided not to get that. It wasn't priced very high. It was only $3. And then we moved on to the end cap. And on the end cap, they had all of this china. So I moved that out of the way just to see if there was a mark on it. There is the brand. They had a whole set of it. I'm going to stand back and show you. Look at that. And then they had this Pillsbury Doughboy salt and pepper shaker. I've picked up Pillsbury pieces here before. The girl had a chip to the front of her bonnet, and that's kind of like right where you're looking at it. So I decided to leave that. This little donkey is still there. And moving on down the line, up top, I spotted this. I think this is a hot chocolate pot. They're usually tall and skinny. Coffee pots are usually tall, but the chocolate pots, if I am not mistaken and telling lies, I believe the hot chocolate pots are those tall, skinny ones like that. I always like to look for marks on the bottoms of things to see who's making it, see if there's any maker's marks that kind of pop out in my brain and go, oh yeah, that's a good one. I couldn't miss this next item. Look at this beautiful cookie jar. It does have some chips to it. It does have age. It is definitely vintage. It's marked on the bottom with a 4-digit number. And this is going to be kind of a pain to ship because I'm going to have to pack the inside of it so it's nice and solid. But it's such a happy, cheery looking cookie jar. I couldn't resist. So before I put it in my cart, I decided to look at the rest of the shelves. On a bottom shelf, I found this Pyrex bowl. It does have utensil marks on it. I was able to get most of the utensil marks off. There is scratching to the paint. And then I noticed that there was another Pyrex bowl, and it's this terracotta brown color. This also had utensil marks that I was able to get off, but it does also have a lot of scratching. These, because they have scratching on them, I will probably sell them a little bit less than they would be if they were like in perfect condition, but we'll see. Or I might just use them for my personal use because they are nice mixing bowls. You can tell them in the mug section, they have a huge selection of mugs, like all of the shelves on this one side are all coffee mugs, but I can't resist looking at them because coffee mugs are super easy to ship compared to cookie jars. And they're easy to list too. You just take pictures of all 4 sides, the top, the bottom, any imperfections, and there you go. Oh, someone in Texas loves you. Made in Texas. $1.99. That's pretty. $2.99. What's that say? Oh, made in Poland. That's cute. Like that. Oh, back over here. Let's see. Someone was selling this for $3. It's a pie plate. And then up here. Oh, that sign. That's pretty. That's a pretty blue. I like that. And I see a pineapple up here. What's this? Something gold painted. Oh, they just painted that gold. Oh, it comes with the attached slice. That's kind of cute. There's a chip right here. $1.99. A tiny little chip there. You Can't really see it. It's so pretty though. It's such a pretty color. Let's see. Oh. What does that say? Hand painted Southern fade proof, $6.99. That's really pretty. This looks like a football. Has all kinds of markings on there. Divided dish, underglaze hand painted. There's a Aladdin teapot by Hall, but it's missing its lid. Oh, there's a crack right there. Craft area on the back wall here now. Look at all the yarn. Oh, Sidar. I used to use that all the time when I made toys. Sidar Snowflake. $2.99. That's nice. That's really lightweight too. There's some salad tongs. These have a neat style to them. I think they hook on the side of the bowl. I wonder if they go with this bowl over here. If they go with that. No, it's a different color. They kind of hook like that. There, look at that. Oh, this is neat too. It's a giant platter. Oh, it's a hobbyist piece. $10. It's really big. Like olives. Those look like green olives. That's old. That has some age to it. Willow. And this has been used a lot too. Someone's favorite pie plate. Here are the coasters I was telling you about in my last video. $1.99. As you can see, they're all $1.99, or they could have bagged them up and sold them. And I was just at another thrift store and they had these in the case, and they were not $2.99. They had both of these pigs in the case, and I think they were selling them for $10. So let's see. This is missing a lid. Something would have gone on there. There was only one of these bone dishes. These would be dishes that you would put next to your dinner plate for your bones if you're having fish, I believe. And then here is some artwork. It was signed on it, the back of it, but I wasn't feeling it too much. And then there were some cake plates. This one was manufactured, and then someone had manufactured this by gluing a tumbler to a plate. And then underneath it was this tray. I always look to see if these serving trays are vintage or not. There was only one. I kind of got the impression that it was more contemporary. Then I saw this cookie press. I have my mother-in-law's cookie press that I use at Christmas time. That is the exact same thing. So I thought of her when I saw that, and then I was distracted by these green bowls. And then I found another cookie press that they were selling for $7 because all of the pieces, the little cookie presses, were inside. So I went back to this one because it was only $1.99, and I saw that the pieces were inside the cookie press. I think they didn't know that. So I know that these don't sell for very much, but they're so useful, and that is why I decided to get it, to spread the usefulness of when you're making spritz cookies or pressed cookies with that particular instrument. I have had the battery run ones in the past, and they just don't work for me. The good old-fashioned aluminum ones work best. On an end cap, there still had these dishes and this pie server. Some of you had mentioned that you thought that this was Stengel pottery, so I'm showing that it was not. It's just a different brand. It does have that vintage Stengel pottery look to it. And then someone had their whole collection of horse racing glasses. Now, I wasn't sure if this was something I should look up or take the time to see if any of them are good sellers or not. But when I came into the store a couple days later, most of them are still there. So I always feel like, okay, I made the right decision by leaving that and not snatching them up. There was this cute little piggy figurine of all these little piggies on the bottom. Isn't that cute? But then I was thinking, well, who needs a figurine with a whole bunch of pigs? So I admired it, but put it back. And then I found two more piggy items, two piggy coin banks. And then underneath it was this made in Japan ashtray. And one time I went to an in-person auction and they had a whole collection of these. And I thought they were so cool because they're from different states. So whenever I pick those up, whenever I find them, I do pick them up, even though they're not huge sellers. And then I noticed this. If you watched the video a couple days ago, this was in the video. And I left it because the tape was over the paint. And I thought, well, what should I do? Then I got distracted by this ashtray. I think this ashtray is made not of hematite. I think it's made of obsidian, maybe. If you know what it is, please let me know. It's definitely a stone. It has the shininess of hematite, but hematite is so fragile. Please let me know in the comments what that is made out of. I think it's super cool. And then on the top, there was more bells. They had all of these bells. I did take the time to look these up to see if they were worth anything. I think they're reproductions because they have dates on them, 1911, 1918, 1907. And then I went down the line seeing the other bells they had. It's blurry. I have sold that before, little rings and things bell. This is a Mary Gregory Westmoreland bell. I did take the time to look that up, but it's not a huge seller. And looking to see if there's any Fenton bells. This had the kind of a look, real quick look of Fenton, but I don't think it was. This is a salt and pepper shaker. I have these in blue. They're bells, but they're also shakers, so that's kind of fun. Mine look exactly like that, except for they're light blue. And then when I went back down the aisle, I noticed this one. I thought, well, or maybe you're Fenton, but I didn't see a mark inside it. And then I get real close and make you dizzy for a second. And then we go back down to the shelves. This I thought was vintage. I thought it was another jelly jar like the pineapple. But then I noticed on the bottom that it was not. It was more contemporary. This dish was still there. I did take another time to, an extra second to look at it. This was in a previous video. I don't know. There's something about it that I'm like, I don't know if I want to pick that up. And so I said, no, put it back on the shelf. But behind it was that disgusting. That's gross. But behind it was this piece. Look at this milk glass plate with the gold and the flowers. I thought that was so pretty. So I decided to get that instead. Look at this glass. There were a couple people in the store that kind of mentioned whoever they were shopping with, hey, look at that glass. There was a whole bunch of Girl Scout cookie tins. I thought this cat was cute. He's kind of giving side eye there. And let's see, we are going back to look at this. It looked like it was a barbecue. Definitely was a barbecue. I did take the time to look this up, and I wasn't quite sure what it was. It lifted off. I don't know. I don't know what it was for. You can tell me what it's for, but I didn't know what it was for. Little bud vase. I thought that was more contemporary. There's a whole bunch of things to look at on this shelf. Little bunny rabbit. See, I'm showing you I'm showing you the sticker because it was more contemporary. I remember now. Then when I went back to look at the bells, I said, this looks like Franciscan Desert Rose. And it is. It was made by the Danbury Mint. So I decided to take that bell. I knew this was an older piece before I even picked it up, and I was correct. This is made by Limoges. It dates from 1914. I was able to pinpoint how old it was based on the maker's marks on the back. And all you have to do is Google maker's marks Limoges, and usually websites come up, and it's super easy to figure out how old your piece is. I was winning with that egg. And then here was this cute little bunny rabbit. It reminded me of a hobbyist piece that I recently sold a couple months ago, but this was had a barcode on it, so I knew it was more contemporary. This was marked KA on the bottom, but I think that someone was just marking it with their initials. I don't think that was a hobbyist piece. This, on the other hand, is a hobbyist piece. I don't know if I've shown this before in videos. I know I've looked at it before, and I always look at it again. That eagle on the one side really dates it probably to the mid-1970s for the bicentennial. So I did leave that. And then I came across a whole bunch of wallpaper. And I did take the time to look at this. This wallpaper was made in Italy. So I was like, well, that's fancy. And there was some other wallpaper. I think that paper was made in Germany. And I know some people do like the vintage wallpaper. I don't know how good the glue would be if you had to glue it on the back. I don't think it would be self-gluing, but I didn't really see any good prices on it, so I left it. Now look at here, some salts, open salts that they priced individually. Now, if you watched a couple videos ago, I got 2 boxes that they priced the whole box. That was glass. That surprised me. They priced the whole box of open salts for one money, and they had priced all of these individually. I think they're going to sit there for a while. Moving on, they had a pretty vase, but that's pretty common, and I was looking at anything blue. Blue glass I do like. This is a Teleflora vase. Some of these were made in Italy. I've sold that before, but now I don't pick them up because they are kind of common. And giving you a look at the shelves as well. I thought this was a cute little elephant creamer. And I was seeing what this was, if it was the bottom to a fairy lamp, but it was not. The red strawberry pot kind of stood out because we're over here in the candle section. It does have a mark on it that makes me believe that it is an older piece. It might have had a lid at one time, but there is no form like a lid would sit down inside it. So I thought that was super cute. Now I'm back looking at more of the china and dishes. This is super close, but you can see how pretty that pattern is that I'm pointing out to you. And a look at the end cap. Homakasa Nature's Gallery, Wild Honey. Ooh, I bet this glow's pretty. $4.99. I recognized this as a piece of Francoma before I picked it up because someone had made a video on Instagram about finding one of these. You would put a candle, I believe, in the middle and set your casserole on top to keep your casserole warm. They had some glass baby bottles, 2 large ones. The 2 larger ones do have some stains in them and 3 smaller ones. And then I was distracted by these shiny objects, the decanter stoppers, this pyramid-shaped one. This one, I believe, is crystal. It is inscribed on the bottom with a 3-digit number, and it's very, very heavy. There was another one here, but it had some chipping to the facets. That also had a mark on the bottom, I believe. You can really see the colors on this one, but it had a chip. So I went back to this giant golf ball size one. Isn't that pretty? I think it would be pretty just in a display. It does sit up on its own. And then I went back to the pyramid to see if this one is broken on top, and it wasn't. I thought that one was pretty as well. It does have a couple dings to the bottom part that would go inside the bottle, but I still thought it was pretty. I decided to do a little merchandising and put the creamer and sugar together. They had that at $1.99, and the creamer probably was also $1.99. I saw this on my way out. I did put it in my cart. You will see it in my cart, but then when I brought it up to the register, the boat had come detached from the base. I think it was just kind of sitting there very carefully on the shelf. So I did put that back. Then I spied this little clog with a brush. And then I found this charcuterie board. This is definitely vintage. It does have the sticker on the back of it, who made it. What I really liked, even though all the pieces are missing, like the little dishes that would sit in there, I really liked the tile. I thought the tile had a real cool mid-century modern look to it, and the new owner can always add pieces to it or just display cheeses and meats on it. When I first started reselling, I sold one of those giant figurines, and that's what I'm pointing out to you. It was like the smaller one, but bigger. So I did take the time to look over their collection of what they had for sale. I thought these 3 little polar bear figurines were cute. They always have Christmas up year round now. And then here was a tidbit tray. I was double checking with myself that it was not Spode, and then I'm pointing out to you that Spode usually has the Santa Claus on top. They were restocking, so I looked back in the bins, and I saw that giant cut to clear bowl, and then something red and shiny. I believe this is rainbow glass. That's what Google Lens told me it was. I thought that was super pretty. And it glows, the handle glows a little bit. There's another look at it for you. And I did put the giant cut to clear bowl in my cart. Here we are making our way up to the checkout. It was a very, very full day here at Goodwill. Here is everything that I picked up on this trip. Just a reminder that tomorrow, Sunday, March 26th, 2023, Jimmy and I are going to go live on this channel at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. I hope you can join us. Bring some questions or comments, and we look forward to talking with you again. We had so much fun doing it last month. We thought, let's do it again this month. And since we have one live under our belts, we kind of know how the things run on a little bit of a delay. So you won't see us sitting there for the first couple minutes going, I wonder if we're live. There is also a link to Jenny's channel in this description. She draws original characters on her iPad using Procreate. So if you or anyone you know is interested in original anime art, please check out her channel as well. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see ya.